Welcome to your new favorite band, the podcast brought to you by the LA Maybe. And now, your hosts, Dallas Dwight and Drizzle Silvera.
Hello, welcome to another episode of your new favorite band with the LA Maybe. I am Dallas Dwight.
And across the table, it's me, Drizzle Silvera. What's up?
And today we're going to be doing the NPR version of, what's the name of the your new favorite band with the LA Maybe.
And there's a lot of books behind me, but you can't see them.
I am what you would describe as a voracious reader, and I've read nearly 7 books in my life.
I read a lot of...
I like nearly 7. Is that 4? Is how we're measuring this?
To continue our conversation, I've read about 120 tape-op magazines.
Yeah.
It's a very artsy recording magazine.
That's very good. I have a few of those as well. I have not read or even opened them, but I do own them.
That is why I can school you in the knowledge of tape-op.
Is that you said that's recording?
Yeah, it's basically like a recording engineer's kind of wet dream of
Nice
articles from the greatest producers, engineers, mixing, mastering.
I think I've definitely read something. I know
and,
Sound on Sound. I know that one.
Yeah, so Sound on Sound. This one's kind of like more like, I guess, kind of in depth and like personal.
Right. They blow you little kisses and stuff.
Yeah, dude, tons of kisses, man. Every time I get an email from them, it's got like the blow kiss emoji.
That's amazing. I'm pulling this up because I want to make sure I get this right. Today, I saw this was announced. I don't know if you saw it yet. Slate Digital was purchased by Audiotonics. Yeah, Audiotonics. That's the company that owns SSL and like a bunch of other stuff. So it seems like, they own Allen and Heath, Solid State Logic, a bunch of other stuff. These are all Digico.
I've worked on Digico consoles.
Those are like some of the top consoles for live, right?
Yeah, anything. You know. Really.
All I remember is like when we played is the Journey tribute. We played a few like really nice rooms where like the marquee had a bunch of bands I'd heard of, and the front of house guys all had Digicos, like big ones.
Yeah, Digicos are phenomenal consoles.
Boards and shit.
$30,000?
$30,000. Yeah.
Oh, that's the cheapest.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've gotten to play and mix on like the $100,000 you know. SD5s, SD7s.
So what makes them so expensive?
Well, they're kind of front runner. They put it on their consoles. They got the stealth, I guess, technology in them. They're really what it is. They're phenomenally built. They can talk to their other consoles. You can light pipe between them.
Mm-hmm. Can't we do that with like?
You can do that with other consoles.
The X32 and the M32.
Yeah, but really, it's
obviously different levels.
The sound. The sound and the quality, man.
I remember the guy we played. The one I remember specifically was this Digico board, like the size of this desk we're sitting at, and this guy was sitting there. We played Northern Lights Theater in Milwaukee. It was part of a casino, the Potawatomi Casino. It was an incredible room, 500 seat, beautiful room. I mean, I'll just pull up a picture for you, and I could probably put it on the screen for everyone else too. Foz and I played this room together. Everyone be patient while I type here.
Yeah, so while he's typing.
Yeah, I typed that pretty good, actually.
Yeah, Digico's phenomenal.
This room.
Oh, yeah, that's gorgeous.
And, so the guy, all I remember is the guy ran the whole board. The board sits, like, back here. This is, like, a monitor thing, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he ran the whole thing with a pencil. He had the pencil that, like, he would just use the eraser end of it, and he was literally, like typing shit, like, just, like, all the faders. I was just like, holy shit. Like,
yeah.
This guy knows what he's doing. Let me see if I can pull this up for the people.
They've been most studios that had SSLs have kind of gone to using Digico for live broadcasts and stuff like that as well too. So
same
broadcasting.
Sense, right? Now we know the same company owns both, so that makes sense.
Yeah, right. So SSL, you know, where they've been used for broadcast, you know, they had proprietary boards made for like, you know, like live news broadcasting, blah blah, blah TV broadcasting essentially.
GoPro.
And GoPro. We got the GoPro.
There we go. That's the Northern Lights Theater in there behind us. That's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's a cool place. It's much bigger than it looks here. You're only seeing like the first couple rows. It goes back quite a ways, and there's that whole balcony up top as well. And you know what I could probably do here?
They flew the subs in that array.
Nope. Hey, there you go. Take a look at
Nice.
behind the scenes there. A little behind the scenes. Don't say we don't give it to you. Oh, I think it's this one. I think I can hit this one here. Boom. Still no. Wow. What a tech crew we have. I'm going to fire every last one of them.
All gone. Yeah, so
that was a really cool place. Really nice board, really nice equipment, crew, rolling everything in, all the good stuff. So
yeah, for sure. Anytime you see a Digico and Meyer or Community or EAW,
Behringer.
And someone who knows how to tune it. I've heard shitty systems with an engineer who was phenomenal at tuning blow crazy amounts of gear with someone who sucks out of the water.
More expensive gear is never the answer, but it doesn't hurt.
No, everything helps. But again, if you've got someone who's completely clueless behind, behind
doesn't make a big difference.
And in fact, it will always make it worse. If you have someone who has no idea, it will always make it worse, even if it's the nicest system, unless they can't fuck with the parameters, and it sounds good no matter what you throw in there. But the thing I loved about Digico that I really took away was I found myself not using any of my Waves plugin, Waves server with it, because it just sounds so good as is. And the preamps in there just were.
And you mean they have like compressors and stuff in the Digico?
Oh yeah. Of course, you can use servers and whatever plugins you want to on those, but
auto tune every track.
Yeah, sure. Try auto tuning a live mic, picking up stage volume.
Yep. Just use tracks in mine.
Yeah.
But Slate Digital was purchased by Audio Tonics or whatever it is. And anyway, a lot of people think that a lot of those SSL plugins are going to be coming to the All Access Pass, which is kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of that joint venture might bring a lot of value to that All Access Pass.
Yeah.
Which is already stupid, valuable. It's so insane.
Yeah, it really is a crazy value. I use Slate personally, but everything I use Slate I bought because I don't find myself reaching for that much outboard, I guess, VST plugins,
right.
Because I'm super familiar with the stuff on board, and I also have Waves that I love too.
Yeah.
So I find myself when I'm using Slate for the most part, it's either Trigger 2 for drums if I have to,
By the way, a little hack for Trigger 2. This is so behind inside baseball, but a lot of people use it. They don't even use triggers. They'll just use it for the gate because the gate and triggers
it's
so
phenomenal.
Good.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
They've since put that gate inside of their mix racks. You can have that as well for other stuff, and it's more robust. But some people use triggers just for that too.
Yeah, the gate is phenomenal. But if you know how to set a gate, then
any
most
gate will do. Yeah.
Any gates will do.
Yeah.
That one's really it's designed for drums.
Yeah.
So and it's what, 1 or 2 knobs, I forget.
It's super simple.
2 knobs.
Yeah.
So
basically you just hit on and most of the time it's done.
Yeah.
And then you just tweak it
as long as the gain structure was done correctly on the input source.
Something in my throat today. But I thought that was a cool little thing. And I don't remember how we got there. What were we talking about before Slate?
We were talking about consoles and a room with.
But Slate brought us 2 consoles. What was before that?
Well, it was really just the news of.
Was that just unrelated to everything?
We were opening up the podcast, and you were like, "Oh wait, you want to know what?" So we weren't really. We were kind of just saying hi.
Cool. Anyway, hi.
Hey, what's up, dude?
10 minutes in. Anyway, I've read a lot of books.
I've read so many books. So
this was the NPR voice. It's almost aggressively monotone.
So we're going to do a gig recap. It was
the high one.
Really electrifying if you couldn't tell by
LA
my voice.
NPR?
Shush. We got to hear the grass grow.
Uh-oh. Now we're in Asthma territory.
Asthma. That podcast where it's like, what's it called? Like BDSM or some shit?
ASMR, my friend. Not BDSM. Different Google search patterns. You're on a different list Googling those two. Yeah, so we had a couple gigs last weekend. And figured we could talk about the gigs a little bit and go from there.
I must say my favorite right off the bat was the one at the brewery.
Yeah, we played Lake Wiley Brewery in Lake Wiley.
Lake Wiley?
It was technically Rock Hill, but
technically,
it sits right
actually,
next to the Rock Hill
technically,
DMV.
I think it's Rock Hill, but you can even further shrink it down to Newport.
Okay, true. Hate that, but yes.
Yeah, because all the locals be like, no, it's Newport.
Yeah, true. Really cool place. I've driven by that place in my life probably 500-600 times. Didn't know it was there till the last 2 times I drove by.
Same, dude.
And
And
then
now I can't not see it.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
driven by
Yeah.
it since.
Every time I drive by, it's packed.
Yeah.
But when we were there, it was really cool. I couldn't find parking to my own damn show. I had to park like way far away. So it's pretty cool. But we had a nice big crowd there. Tons of people coming up to us. Tons of people wearing our shirts and stuff.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
You had a friend come from out of town.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to my buddy Mike. He drove all the way from Houston, Texas.
Hawaii. Oh, okay. Yours is cool too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, he drove from Houston, Texas. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyways.
Houston, Texas. That is. I've been to Houston once. Played a gig. But I didn't know it was right on the border with
you
Louisiana.
didn't go to that other place kind of near the middle of the state. I forget what it's called. Their airport spans like 2 counties.
Stupid name. Some idiot name. Stupid city.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest airports
Austin.
in the country.
That was it. And yeah, Houston's right there on the border with Louisiana. And you set up the volleyball and just spiked it.
You just fucking spiked it. I'm like, clearly it's Dallas.
Oh, Fort Worth. Love it. Yeah. I have been to that airport, but other than that, I've never been to the city of Dallas. And I'm not a Cowboys fan. I know everybody wants to ask me that. They can't wait to get it out. What's up? I'm Dallas. Who are you, Cowboys? Relax. No.
And they're definitely Cowboys fans.
Yeah. It's so funny. And they all say it like they're the first one to ever think of it.
Do you want to know the only cars that I see tricked out in NFL gear
Cowboys.
are Cowboys?
Every time. Yep. It's insane. They have some big fans. They are called America's football team.
Really?
Yep, which is kind of crazy. They're also one of the most valuable sports teams in the world. They're valued over.
That's what I heard. I think one of the other sports franchises
might be
is
the
like
only NFL team in like the top 5 too. It's a lot of soccer teams.
a lot of soccer teams like Manchester and
We could find this out real quick.
we're going for this. We're
Most
going for
valuable
it.
Pokemon cards. Just kidding. Sports teams. Number 1. Well, this is just NFL. No, the top really. Okay. Well, I'm super wrong. There's no way. All right. Well, all right, I'll read it to you. According to Forbes, the world's most 50. We're only looking at the top few here. In 2022, number 1, Dallas Cowboys, $8 billion. I said over $1 billion. I was not incorrect. Number
Definitely
2,
not incorrect.
Patriots, 6.4. Number 3, the Los Angeles Rams. That makes sense. 6.2. Number 4, New York Yankees, tied with the New York Giants. Then the Lakers. But see, it skips some. We're looking at like a condensed list here. The Lakers are number 10, and then Barcelona is number 15. I want to see the top 5. So who's number 5? Because we've listed 1, 2, 3, and the 2 tied for 4.
Yeah, we got to find out what 5 is.
I think 5 might be it's just crazy to me that the sports teams aren't, or the soccer teams aren't higher up there.
Yeah, I would have sworn. I could have sworn. But this was also years ago. Last I checked, like literally.
You know another thing I look up like every year?
What?
The bite force of animals. Like once a year, I find myself looking up the bite force of different animals. I think we've done it on this podcast.
Probably. No, we did.
All right, Jesus Christ, just get to the fucking thing.
No, there's
Rams, Yankees, Giants. Number 5 is the Knicks. So, yeah. Nope. They literally skipped number 5. Okay, cool. Number 5 is the Knicks. So it's all American teams.
That's insane. Well, I guess
Top
it makes.
3 are football.
I guess it makes sense. I mean, I know people that straight up neglect their families for sports.
Yeah,
Like
it's
straight
insane.
up, they're like, nope, don't bother me. Got my sports on TV.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so crazy to me. The sports thing in general, how passionate people get, and I like getting into it, but I almost get into it like like fakely, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
if, like I don't care at all at the end of the day.
I really don't care either.
But if I'm in a sports bar and everybody's cheering for the team that I also kind of like, I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? But other than that, I don't really care.
Now, do that for something like guitar, audio, anything
That doesn't
audio,
exist.
guitar, blah, blah, blah. That, for me, you know, and you could say I neglect my family for that, but that's also my living. I don't just sit there and veg
Right.
out and watch sports, you know.
Right. Crystalia has a funny joke. He says, jerseys. He was like, if you wear a shirt with another adult man's name on the back, that guy should be able to fuck you. That guy, you're that guy's bitch. He should be able to fuck you.
Then we need to get the Dallas and Driz tees.
To start t-shirt canning them out in the shows. See if this works. All guys coming up. Yeah, this in 5X? Ah, shit.
5X. That would be the logical next
You know
question,
what?
right?
Fuck it. You have a parachute that just says has kind of a similar design. It'll probably fit.
Oh, shit.
We were talking a little bit before here about new bands we've been digging.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So we brought up one of our favorites you guys know as well, the New Roses. They have a couple new singles out. You guys should go check them out. They're sounding pretty good.
And their album's going to be coming out. Do we know exactly when?
no idea.
But they've got a new album set
out.
to come out.
I don't remember the name off the
Some
top of my
point.
head, but it's got a red cover. And
Red
like a
cover
snake or something.
with like a rose snake type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Roses.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you brought up Crazy Licks.
Crazy Licks, yeah. In fact, found out about the band because we were on a classic rock article top.
Classic Rock Magazine. We
Classic
were one
Rock
of the tracks
Magazine,
of the week
yeah.
3 or 4 times. Yeah.
So they do it every week, obviously, if it's a track of the week. So I scrolled back to the previous week and I saw this Crazy Licks Anthem for America. I was like, oh, what's this? Clicked on it and really fucking dug the band. They say Anthem for America.
remember
I
you
believe
showed
they're
me
from
that.
Sweden or somewhere. They're from Europe. I probably completely botched it, but
Yep.
yeah,
Gotcha.
killer band.
Yeah, they sounded. I mean, I remember you had showed me Anthem of America once. We pulled it up here a minute ago.
Yeah.
And a couple other tracks I clicked through, and they all sounded equally as good. So, cool band. Unfortunately, at this time we don't have all the information. Maybe we could talk about them more in a future episode. But just killer what we've heard so far.
I love
You know
the
more.
intro of that song. What happened to the youth?
Wasn't that
of
the one you said had a crazy
USA? Yeah. I mean, they have
What
a
was the
lot
one
of
you showed me the funny video about America.
funny video.
Yeah, you were like, you got to see this. And I was like, I don't remember.
I wouldn't consider that one funny.
It was another
It's got
band that
some
was
funny.
in the top tracks of the week with us or whatever.
I can't honestly.
And it was definitely about America somehow.
I can't remember, dude.
We'll have to jog the memory bank somehow. But
That it might be that one because there were a couple funny moments in it, but it wasn't like meant to be funny. But
Right.
they clearly included that to have a little comedic edge.
that must have been the one. I think that
Yeah.
must have been the one. Because we were just they were kind of really over the top or something.
Yeah.
And
It
all
was
their
fun. It was
album art was
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
It's just the recordings are cool. Everything about those guys were really cool. And then I brought up the band Camino. They've been around for a little while, and I'd always heard their name. I've seen their name a lot of places, but we had just played Tin Roof, Columbia, and I looked at the schedule of the Senate right next door, which is attached, and I saw the band Camino was playing like either the night before or after us. And I was like, those guys are playing here. That's cool. Look them up. Maybe put on a tune or something. Put on a song. Loved it. Next song. Loved it. Went through both albums and just loved all of it. So really, really like those guys. Wouldn't say they're like rock,
but they definitely have a rock
they're kinda
edge.
pop
yeah.
rock, pop
Yeah.
punk, kind of that vibe, which I always love. And just great songwriting, great production. I just love everything about that. So
Yeah,
it's right up my
they
alley.
they strike me as more of like extremely polished, like indie,
yeah, alternative pop.
alternative,
Which is
indie
kind of-
pop.
Alternative pop is kind of an oxymoron, no?
Yeah, it's extremely oxymoronic.
Yeah. It's extremely moronic. You're right.
Yeah. No, so we spent a little time listening. They were cool.
Yeah, good band. They're
Good.
from Nashville, I
Amazing lyrics. Like they're really,
Yeah.
really, really shining their lyricism.
Yeah.
Just from what I checked
believe.
out.
Well
So
crafted, yeah. Other than that, it's a couple bands we've been listening to, I think. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I think there was one more we were talking about.
Oh, we pulled up a band called
Was the first one you had pulled up?
White Reaper. I only know these guys because they have a song in a game I'm playing. And yeah, they sounded great. I don't know anything about them. The song's called Raw. The band's called White Reaper. It's got a really cool intro. You guys should definitely check it out. Really cool guitar riffs. They also have kind of a similar punky alternative.
More punk
vibe.
though.
Yeah.
Definitely more punk than the
Camino, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, really cool.
I've always loved the word Camino. Plus, my buddy Clyde had an El Camino he was always working on the whole time I knew him.
Nice. Never worked.
Never.
Greatest car in the world,
I
man.
think by the time we stopped hanging out, because life took us different places, like he finally had it running.
Yeah. That's so funny. Like he's sitting there wrenching it. Best car you'll ever find. Has that ever ran? Nope. You see an issue with those two sentences back to back? Nope.
Speaking of which, so my buddy Mike, who drove up from
I was just about to
Houston.
go back to Mike. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, he drove up from Houston.
In an El Camino.
No,
Kidding.
no El Camino.
Kidding.
In fact, this would give any El Camino a run for its money.
Wait, does it run?
It
Then
it
already
fucking gallops,
as
dude.
good. Already
it
as
gallops.
good.
It gallops. No, so anyways, he was just like, dude, brought my Mustang up. I don't want to go too much into, personal life stuff, but like he's high up with Ford.
High up with Ford.
Oh, okay. He's like top 10 at what he does in
Oh, nice.
the entire company.
The assassin or
No.
corporate espionage.
Yeah, just assassinate cars and crunch them up. And so anyways, he brought his tricked out Ford Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I say tricked out, I mean this motherfucker.
Like it has like a spoiler. like this thing, like it's got a carbon fiber rear view mirror. Dude, this thing's transmission.
Carbon fiber dick urinal. You just stick your dick in when you get in the seat. You don't even have to get out. You just piss.
Yeah.
No. 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 Anyways, he was just like, here's the keys. Go have fun. I was just like, okay, dude.
You don't say a word, just burn out of the parking lot. He's like, shit, what have I done?
I was like, all right, here we go. He's like, here's how you put it in sport mode. This is track mode. So not only does it have like regular.
Was he here hanging out with you for a while or?
Yeah. We spent a good portion of the following day after that gig at Lake Wiley Brewing
Nice.
Company hanging out.
Very cool.
Just because I hadn't seen him in a long time.
Right.
And but we stayed, and we only hung out for like a week when we first met. But we've stayed in contact ever since. Right. And
Love
he's
letters.
big. Yeah, exactly, dude. The whole 9.
I dream of you.
The whole 69 yards.
Yeah.
Anyways, now I get in that car and I take it out to McConnell's Highway. And I touch the gas and I'm 60 miles per hour, dude.
Yeah.
So I go into the neighborhood. I turn around to come back because I didn't want to like burn all his gas and be gone long. He's letting me.
You're just gone till
Play.
like nightfall.
Yeah, no, dude, that would be hilarious.
Here you go, it's empty. Just runs out of gas and sputtering as you show back up.
So anyways, I turn around. McConnell's is empty. I'm like, okay, here we go. So I jump on McConnell's, just turn onto it, and I put the pedal to the metal. I literally had it to the metal for 3.5 seconds, and I was at like 85, 90 miles per hour.
Nice.
And I was just like, okay, all right.
Yep.
Took my foot off the gas, and it goes like just fucking, dude.
Is it a stick or not a stick? Probably.
No, but you can do paddle shifting on it.
Okay.
So, yeah, dude, that was a real car.
That's awesome. I've heard. Yeah. So do you know what the fastest car on the market right now is?
It's probably a Tesla, right?
Yeah. So it's Tesla Plaids, dude. It's 0 to 60 in 1.8.
Well, yeah, no gas engine can do that.
No.
Because of the,
So
the
it's,
nature
they
of
say
them.
it's like, I haven't driven one. I'm going to actually. I'll tell you about that after. But there's it's like a golf cart. That's what it feels like. They said, where you just kind of smooth. But dude, 0 to 60 in 1.8. They say it throws you back in your seat like a roller coaster. You're just like, and you're just like grinning like, ah!
Dude, I believe it, dude. This thing threw me back in the seat, and I know
And that
a
was
Tesla's
probably
faster.
what 3? What do you say? 3 point something? 2 point something? Got to be 2 point something probably.
To get to 85,
Zero
it
to
was
60.
probably like it was definitely 0 to 60 in 3 something.
Yeah.
0 to
So
8,
imagine
but like
twice as-
10 to 85 because I had to take the turn. I took turn, and I was about 10 to
I got you.
85.
That's still like
I
I've
think
never done anything.
I think it's a 10. I think it's a 10 speed.
Yeah. Like my
I mean,
mountain bike.
I literally like just pedal to the metal, and then as soon as I thought to pedal to the metal, I had to take it off.
Yeah.
Because it was just like,
shit.
Fuck, here we go.
We're at 250.
And it was crazy. It like you and it wanted to peel out, but it didn't. It grabbed.
That's the torque, yeah.
Yeah, well, it wanted to turn, like, kind of boom, a little bit. I forget which way it wanted to, but like it just wanted to kind of like, and it gripped and just dug in and gone.
Nice.
Dude,
It's badass.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Mustangs are workhorses, dude.
Pun intended.
I actually didn't mean that until after I said it. I kind of...
No, just good American muscle, man.
Man.
If we
Those
start,
cars been
if we
hitting the
start,
weights.
yeah, if we start pulling in millions, dude, I don't want anything I don't want to break up. I don't want to spend $450,000 on a car,
Yeah.
I don't want to spend whatever, but 60,000, 70,000.
I'm gonna spend $450,000 on cars for sure.
Yeah,
We got 10 Toyota Camrys.
that's amazing.
Yeah, dude, Dallas spent $500,000 on cars, man. He's addicted. Oh shit,
But-
what's he got?
But here's the thing.
10
Here's the
Corollas.
thing that goes through my mind when I think about sports cars. Yeah, they're fucking badass. They're awesome. Where's the only place you can drive them to
Tracks,
their
for
full
sure.
potential?
Yeah.
Tracks. Where's the only place you can drive a Toyota Camry to its full potential? A track. Because that thing can do 120 miles per hour,
for sure.
probably.
Yeah.
Maybe 130.
Yeah.
And so, like, what the fastest freeways in America? 80, 85 miles per hour?
Yep, out in Texas. Yep.
Okay, yeah, cool. Every single vehicle I own can do that.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep. It's cars aren't my thing for sure. I never got the bug. I think they're
Guitars are.
I think they're kind of cool. I like the look of some of the exotic cars. It's just like
Would you fly if you had the money? Would you like get a plane, get your pilot license, and just like?
Oh, probably. I mean, that's in my blood. My
Yeah.
dad was a pilot.
Yeah, no,
I've been
that's
up-
why I'm
my dad
asking.
took me up in planes. He wanted me to get my pilot license when I was super young because he was like 15 when he got his.
Yeah, you can get them really young.
Yeah, and I almost got like all that stuff, but just did guitar and stuff instead. But yeah, that's as far as I understand. That's not too crazy difficult.
yeah, for sure. And then if you get a light enough aircraft.
Yeah, my dad owned a plane when we were younger, and I know what you're thinking. It was like not what you're thinking. It was like a tiny little prop plane. Like this thing probably cost less.
Not
than
even
my car.
Cessna.
Like,
Not even Cessna status.
this thing cost probably less than my car. And yeah, he would take me up in that. And I thought it was the coolest thing when he would go "Boo" on the side, and you're looking out your window at just the.
Was it like a
ground.
Piper Cub or something like that?
He could tell you. I don't remember. I'd have to text him after this, but yeah, I remember going up in that thing as a kid a few times, and he didn't have it very long. But yeah, he got out of the Air Force. I guess missed flying. He got out of the Air Force because he had me. He flew F-15s. So this
Yeah,
was
dude.
kind of at the
Dude.
time. The F-15 was the top of the top of the top plane that the United States had. Now it's the F-22 and F-35.
Yeah, but they still can't even touch it in speed.
the 22.
Not
I
to
think-
mention the
22
15.
is designed to replace the 15, and I think it pretty much blows it out of the water and everything.
Not with speed.
But the 35, I think, replaces the 16 or is going to.
Yeah, as far as I know, the F-15 Eagle was like over Mach 2. Could go over Mach 2.
I don't know. Well, the fastest plane we know is the SR-71, right?
Well, conventional jet engine, yes, because it is technically a jet engine.
Let's see here. Yeah, this SR-71 Blackbird. I read this funny article. This guy, SR-71s. I had a toy model of those. This is one of my favorite planes. Just look how badass that
Dude,
was
I got
right
to
there.
climb on an SR-71 when I was a kid.
Yeah, I've sat in cockpits of all kinds of cool stuff. My dad was friends with all the pilots still, so he there's F-15 Eagle number 3.
Yeah, number 3, dude. I'm telling you, dude. Nothing touches. The F-22 doesn't even come close to
that
its speed.
Valkyrie thing's number 1. Jesus, what is that?
The XP-70 Valkyrie
Yeah.
was a bomber designed in the 50s, I believe. Maybe 60s. It was a supersonic bomber.
Mach
They
3.
they never actually ended up putting it
Damn it, keep
into
hitting.
service because I think they had at least one blow up in midair. I believe that's the history. If you're interested, you can go check it out. But
Aviation
basically,
history is really cool.
yeah, it was too advanced for its own self.
I was listening to this thing, reading an article, and it was these pilots. There was an SR-71, and those pilots were super specialized, and they
Mm-hmm.
flew in pairs. And there were 2 of them on the ground, and they were hanging out at like the diner or whatever. And there were some other like hotshot pilots. You know, pilots are all hot shots.
Yeah, yeah.
Egos bigger than Axl Rose. You know, just all these kind of crazy guys. And they came up to the SR-71 when it was new. They came up to the pilots. They were like, yo, we're going to climb. We're going to out-climb you. We're going to blow you out of the water. And the SR-71 pilots were like, all right. And they went out to fly. And they said they played with them for a little bit. They let them think they were going to win. And then they just pulled back and hit it and just disappeared. And the other guys were like, what the fuck?
Damn,
Because that thing, the thing about the SR-71 is it goes so high, too.
Yeah, I think it has
Goes
an
up into, like,
80,000
space.
80,000 feet. It was its service ceiling.
It's crazy.
That's like the U-2, which is not a very fast jet, but it's a reconnaissance jet with a very long wingspan. I think they could go right around 70, 71,000. Do you know the only jet, it was, I think it's called the X-15, which is a rocket-propelled jet. They drop it off of the wing of the B-52 Super Fortresses, Stratofortress. And this guy accidentally went past the Kremlin line, or I forget what the
Kremlin,
line is.
yeah.
Yeah, which is 100 kilometers, I think, above Earth. Maybe it's a rocket-propelled,
Right.
plane, but it was the only accidental conventional flight to go into space.
Huh.
Yeah,
Oops.
it's like, oh, here we go.
Shit, we're in space. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
But extremely experimental aircraft, rocket propelled. The old video of those things dropping off the wing and just going,
Yeah.
and just going, dude, it's just insane.
My dad knew a lot of the Thunderbirds. He knew a lot of like the pilots. He knew, some of his friends still fly and
Yeah.
are like some of the people that are like instructors and stuff like that to new pilots. And so one of them's a really good friend of my dad's, and his son now, my dad's friend's son, who I've met a few times, is now an F-22 pilot. So, piloting is all around me a lot. But we went out to see him at a base one time, sat in the cockpit and everything, and then we got to watch that F-15 take off. Dude. And he took off. And so normally all of us are used to regular planes. We fly from wherever. And you take off and you kind of pull up like this.
Yeah, no.
When you pull up in an F-15, you go straight up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And he, just for us, turned on some afterburner. Dude, it's the loudest thing you've ever heard in your life.
Oh,
it
dude, it's
shakes
insane.
the earth.
Yeah.
And it was just unbelievable, the power on those things. And it was just so cool. You're just grinning watching this thing, just like fly. You're just like, holy shit, dude.
Dude, everything's vibrating and it's like a speck.
I also loved the A-10 as a kid, the tank
The
busters.
tank killer, yeah.
I loved those things.
Warthog, Thunderbolt. I've heard so many different terms of that. Yeah,
Warthog's, I think, the official, the A-10 Warthog. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was a jet designed around a Vulcan
I forget.
minigun. It's a 30 millimeter.
I saw videos.
Cannon.
One of my dad's friends showed us one of those videos where they put tracers every 10th bullet, whatever it is.
And you think the tracers are the only bullet that's in there,
think
but there's
it just-
4
dude,
rounds
it
in
looked-
between
It
those.
looked like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
It was just like you're like, holy shit.
Dude, that's how they sound.
Yeah.
It sounds like,
Yeah, you turn on the machine gun, it's like just like, okay, all right, that's gone.
everything's gone. Everything's gone. But
I've seen videos of bombs dropping on buildings, like crazy stuff.
yeah.
We watched this. They were doing a bomb run on like a building full of terrorists that was confirmed, and they had, I guess, hopefully cleared the area of civilians and stuff. And the videos of the pilot, you're just in his canopy, looking down. Kind of, you see like the radar and all the different stuff, and you just see him. All the pilots speak. You can't tell. What he's saying.
Yeah, right.
I got a Mach 2 coming in, like whatever the fuck. And then finally, he's like, "All right, bombs away, boom!" And like you just silent for a second, and you just see the building just. And you just hear the guy go, "Oh, dude." And my dad laughed so hard for so long at the, "Oh, dude." Kept playing it over and over again. Because, dude, this building was there, and this is a big building. I mean,
Yeah.
20 stories, and then it's just not. It's just
dude.
not there. It's just smoke and dust, and you're just like, oh.
I think that's got to be a new thing that we bring up. Like when we see something fucking awesome, we just go, "Oh, dude." Your dad would be proud.
I'll never forget. Oh, dude. And like it was just funny because the pilot was so like by the book, like military, like straight laced, and then he blows up this building and he just breaks all character.
Yeah,
oh, dude.
like whatever's in there is proper fucked.
I hope that was bad guys because they're not anymore.
Yeah, there's nothing alive in that building anymore.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah. And you press the button.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
right?
Imagine how those guys that did the nuke and all that stuff were. Like that's.
Did you actually ever read into the history of those?
No,
those
not
guys.
much.
A lot of them. Some of them killed themselves.
I believe it.
Yeah. A lot of depression.
That's pretty
extreme
immense
issues.
Destruction.
Because they you see the footage afterwards. You see the pictures, and it's like, and then you hear that they're still pulling up bones out of the rivers. The river, because the river was so hot, it was boiling. People jumped into the river and it was. No, they just cooked and died. And so they still pull up bones to this day from people that died.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah. And then to if you pulled the button, you press the button that dropped the nuke, or whatever, and you see vaporized human being on the wall of one of these stone church temples, probably because they weren't really Christian. They believed in the emperor, right? People vaporized into the stones and pavement. That's all that's left of them. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's metal.
Yeah, that's there's nothing more metal. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, I've been watching like a lot of military-based shows and listening to a lot of military-based podcasts and a lot of Navy SEAL podcasts and interviews and stuff like that lately. So
I think it makes
kind of in that
keeping that in your head too. Like I've always been fascinated by war. I think it's an awful thing, but I've always been intrigued by technology, machines.
Oh yeah, for sure. The machine stuff is very cool, but the listening to those guys talk and with humility and listening for me with gratitude, as far as like these guys have seen like the worst parts of humanity, so that we don't really have to.
Yeah.
So just the just brutal toughness that these guys are.
And a lot of it, a lot of, because I've got family, ex-military, out of the military, and the way they feel about, there's something super psychologically fucked up about fighting wars that don't matter to your country.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to fighting and knowing that, like, it's coming to our doorstep.
Right.
I think that there's a different profile, and I think trauma, like, so, whether or not it was right after 9/11 and someone was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get these motherfuckers.
There was a ton of that.
There was a ton of that.
Yeah. Well, all the guys I listened to, that's when they signed up.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all about that age.
And then a lot of them come to realize, like, afterwards, it's like, but a lot of it was a crock of shit, just political,
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough for sure.
Yeah.
I was listening to some of the Afghanistan withdrawal stuff in the documentary. That there's been a couple. I watched the one produced by Save Our Allies, which is Tim Kennedy's company, and there's a lot of good stuff that they're doing. They literally went over there as an independent organization and rescued I think 12,000 people, 11,000 people.
Which we had to do, dude. Like these people are going to be killed by the Taliban because they were helping.
But they were describing just the horrors of what they seen. There was women with infants throwing their infants over the gates.
Over the gates, yeah. Getting caught in the barbed wire.
Not knowing that there was barbed wire and razor wire there. And these babies would get stuck in the razor wire and die.
Yep.
And there's nothing any of the soldiers could do, nothing anybody could do. So there's just dead babies around the walls. And the reason they were throwing, you might think that sounds crazy. They knew that throwing their baby over there was a better chance of that thing surviving than staying right where they were.
Exactly. Yeah. People don't realize. I think a lot of people in the West don't realize how ruthless.
The Taliban.
Yeah.
Yeah. I certainly wouldn't have. I have no experience with the Taliban. Why would I?
I don't either. But I grew up listening to all.
Yeah.
I'm heavily interested in conflicts and why.
Yeah.
And so I've grown up knowing,
they're not a good group of dudes, it seems.
Very regressive. At least the Christian church had a reformation.
Yeah.
I've been like, maybe Islam should have a reformation and become a little more docile and cool to women and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Because Christians used to not be. I mean, they'd fuck women up and go to war and fucking genocide people, essentially.
Yeah, it's tough, though, because I don't know, is there an issue with the religion? It just seems to be extremists, in all areas of life.
The problem is there's a lot of great people. I think the problem is that because of the books and the writing and no like reformation of certain things, I think, and I might be pissing off a lot of people, but this is my honest opinion. Like, I feel like it, because of the way the structuring of the religion involves government as well, because it's not just a religion. When you establish a religion, you have to wage holy war against people who don't believe it, and then you also have to establish an extremely oppressive government around the religion.
Right.
So, you know, in my personal opinion, I think that the religion needs to be reformed or just doesn't need to exist.
Yeah. It does seem to produce, at least it seems to me, to produce more extremists than all the others. And I don't know why, but that's just what it seems like.
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's old. A lot of people, it's fear. A lot of most of it's fear based. You know, as a kid, you know, if you want to step out and you know, the punishment is insane. You can be stoned. You can be killed, thrown off a roof. As long as it's in the name of Allah and obeying the Quran, it's all good, homie.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
I've read into it a lot. You know, I did read into it a lot. I used to work with this guy, retired Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin. I ran sound for him. I've talked with him. He used to be in the Pentagon. He was he started the Green Beret and Delta Force. Like this is that guy, dude.
That's badass.
Yeah, dude. And so when he was tasked with understanding Islam, he fucking went to town. And then as well as he wrote a book about it. And I actually read that book. And it was very insightful. Like what most Americans don't realize is the reason why that harmless Muslims in America, and I say harmless, most of them are, but there's a reason why they wanted to build a mosque right where the 9/11 towers happened, because it is custom where you win a massive victory, you build a mosque in that place. And so most Americans, you know, were like, no, you know, it was kind of a big deal, but it's like, if you understand actually why, it's like, because they're waging war.
Right.
Yeah. You know, was it Muammar Gaddafi said something like, this is like really in the weeds, this podcast.
I know, right?
Something like, we don't have to wage war on Europe because we are breeding them out. Dude, and it is true when you look at birth rates. It's insane, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not a part of it. I could never be a part of an oppressive religion.
Yeah.
Having been free my entire life.
Yeah.
And growing up.
One thing I will say is we definitely seem to take a lot for granted here.
Yeah.
And having traveled abroad a lot myself and meeting a lot of people abroad and realizing how we're just one part of the world. We're not the whole world.
Yeah.
And everything that we tend to talk about amongst ourselves is with this current underneath it of like everything in the world is us.
Yeah, exactly.
Every thought we think affects the whole world.
Because that is our whole world.
Every celebrity we know,
right?
The whole world knows. And it's not the case. It's not the case at all. There's different things. Every inflation rate, every gas price rising that we blame on the current president is only us. No, the whole world's affected. Like we all are getting the same stuff. It can't all come back to one dude. Like it's all everybody. There's a lot. It's a lot more complex than that. But it's really interesting because I'll bring up some of these points to some of my friends abroad, and they're like, "No, it's the same exact thing here." You know, blah 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 blah. This is the problem. You know, we've been experiencing this and whatever, and it's pretty interesting to see that and the differences and the things that we think are, you know, oh, this is us and this is our thing and this is what we know. It's just totally different somewhere else. They just don't. Yeah, not at all. Not on their radar.
And that could be by design. You know,
like
to keep people from talking and realizing that there's a common.
It's really cool. Yeah, I would encourage people to find friends abroad however you can. And nowadays it's so easy.
Yeah.
Internet. It's really nice. And I've shared so much of American culture with my friends who don't know anything about it. And I've learned so much about all sorts of different cultures from Spain to France, Germany, Italy, UK, all over the place. And which I realize I just named Europe, but
yeah, right.
that's where my friends are right now. So, Yeah, I don't know if I have any friends that are in Asia, Africa, or South America right now.
Yeah.
Canada. Yeah, I had an interview with a guy in Canada today.
Yeah. So I got to say, going back, just kind of like recap, I guess, on, I don't hate anyone. Like, that is not me.
And I hate everyone.
Actually, I hate everyone equally. That's actually a better way. Like, I just don't like anyone.
It's a general disdain for everyone.
I don't wish ill upon anyone, but I
Right,
just don't like anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I actively don't like people. I just, maybe, I don't do anything, but I don't know. I kind of just like doing my own thing.
Yeah. So
I
got to throw that out there.
Happy to leave you alone.
I want everyone to prosper and do well.
I think a big thing though is unity.
Yeah.
Like if we keep going with this huge divide, like it's not going anywhere good.
Yeah, exactly.
We do, and this is just so, what's the word? Tripe? That's not the word. Trite? Maybe. Anyway, but we do need to realize that there's so much more in common that we have than we don't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody's making money off of us being fighting and stuff, so taking our eye off the ball.
Exactly.
So we need to realize that and start being friendly. Give people the benefit of the doubt.
But that's
man.
okay. So this all ties back into something. But that's what rock and roll is.
Yeah.
Like I had some people recently,
The great uniter.
like who are not rock and roll fans,
Music
come out
in general, though.
Yeah, music in general for sure. But I had some people come out recently who are not rock and roll fans, and see rock and roll, and they were like,
See us?
"Oh, us, yeah, saw us." And
Were they more
like,
death metal fans?
No, like not. And they were like, "Oh, we get it now.
Yeah.
This is awesome."
Yeah.
There's an energy there that you don't experience in a lot of other genres. There's still energy, but it's not the same type.
Yeah. For people that this is kind of related.
Rock and roll feels wild and free and
Untamed.
unpredictable,
Yeah.
right? And that's I guess it makes sense why it came out of America,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's true. That's America. Wild and untamed. Yeah. One of my friends, I was struggling to get into metal music, like screaming and heavier vocals and stuff. And all of my friends were getting into it, and I was just kind of like, I don't like this. I don't know why. And I asked my friends, one of my friends who was way into it and liked some of the heaviest stuff still I've ever heard, the Faceless, etc. And I was just like, what is this? I don't like it. I don't get it. He's not singing. He's screaming. And I'll never forget what he said. It was the singer for The League of, my friend Paul.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
And he said, so music, all singing, music, guitar, whatever. It's about delivering a message. That's it. It's about delivering a message to the listener. And you can do that any way you want. You could play a melody on guitar. You could write a symphony for an orchestra. You could sing a rock and roll song. Metal is usually conveying aggression and disenfranchisement.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the way they choose to deliver that message is with a very aggressive form of vocalizing. And that's all that is. It's just the way of delivering the message in the way that they need it to be delivered. And once I heard that, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, I don't need it. I don't need to hear what I've always heard. This is a new thing, and I understand that. Once I understood that, I got way into it, and I found different pockets of metal that I liked, and that led to other pockets, and then pretty soon it's just like, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. I think it would have been so much cooler to experience it. Like, I guess I remember the first time I heard screaming, I was like, what the
It was Linkin Park for me.
fuck is this?
I would wager it was Linkin Park for a lot of people my age.
It was probably Linkin Park. If it wasn't Linkin Park, it was The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, but they were after,
Under Oath,
by a bit, right?
Or Under Oath.
They were still after, weren't they? I'm not sure the chronology of all of it, but Linkin Park was like early on, and they weren't all screaming.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like almost a gateway.
So what? 04 was when
Slipknot was like 99 though,
Yeah, but I never listened to Slipknot when I was little, like young.
I remember their first album came out when I was in first grade, and I was terrified. It was. I told someone this the other day. It was like a horror movie, but an album. These people were real, and they're wearing these terrifying masks, and I can't understand what the guy's screaming at me, and it just sounds scary.
Yeah.
I'm in first grade, like 7, 8, and so I was just terrified of those guys for a long time. That first album cover is very creepy. Like they're all twisted up, like
Oh yeah, for sure.
all the ridiculous masks and stuff, and a great album. But I didn't know that at the time. So that might have been the first time I heard it. Linkin Park was the first time I liked it. Where I was like, oh, that's cool. He's singing, and then he screams. You really know he means it, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's something about like, okay, so if it's all screaming, it loses the effect,
Yeah.
right? Because it
can.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
for me, it does.
Yeah.
If the screaming is like really intentional, it has more of an impact.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. I guess you can't not say it's not with an intent with metal. It's obviously intentional throughout the whole thing, but I mean, intentional is an offset to something. Like if you're really like emotional about something and it comes out in the song and then there's a scream, I feel like that for me impacts me. I've never been much of a fan of anything that's screaming the entire time.
Yeah.
You know, about the hardest I really ever got into was Periphery.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's because their lead singer,
Spencer,
he kind of you know goes back and forth.
Good vocalist.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Really good vocalist. For me, it was Whitechapel's one of my favorites. They scream pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much the whole time.
And you would think that would kind of destroy your voice. And then only recently, they've had so many albums, and only like the last one or two, Phil started singing. He's got a great fucking voice. Like it's like he's gotten better. Like, yeah.
Really, I haven't, dude. Honestly, I haven't really
voice.
listened to Whitechapel since like high school, dude.
Yeah, I saw him live.
Parkway Drive was another big one. You know,
they're from Australia, I think, right?
Australia, I believe so. Yeah,
I saw them live as well.
Nice.
All of these bands I saw live at the same place. 2010 Warped Tour. All the bands. That was the year, dude. 2010 Warped Tour. That was the year. I went again in 2013. Totally different.
I remember that's probably the year where I saw the lineup. Was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
We just sat at the metal stage all day. We saw 4 Year Strong. So many bands.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a good year. Let's move into the VIP section. What do you say?
Yeah, I think it's about that time.
I just have one thing to say. Oh, dude. Oh, that's the name of this episode for sure.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you later.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching the latest episode of your new favorite band. This is the end of the free content.
But if you want to unlock the full uncut versions of every episode, head over to lamaybe.com/VIP and sign up for our membership. For $7 a month, you'll get extended episodes of our podcast, a bonus episode every month, plus exclusive merch. You'll also be supporting us and helping us continue to stay on the road and make new music. And for that, we're eternally grateful. So thank you.